Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom with our park that still has no name. That may end up being the park name, is the park with no name. But no, today I'm actually really excited because I finally decided to sit down and craft the Cretaceous sign that I've been talking about for the last 3 episodes. It finally has happened. Now, you'll see lots of things that go down with this. It was actually a really good learning experience. I still quite obviously don't have all of the control systems down, so this is a very much work in progress. But what I really like about it is that by the end of this, you are going to see the epitome of what I wanted to make. I'm actually really happy with how this entire thing turned out. Now, I'm not going to spend this entire segment talking like I normally do. This is going to be very much you're gonna sit and watch this because it was actually really fun. But there are a couple of things that I do want to mention. We are not going to do a paddock episode with this one. I wanted to focus more on the things we already have in the park. Now the next episode we'll get the Protoceratops or whatever it is, the other Ceratops that is in this, and I think I'm gonna have to switch between, you know, a paddock and a non-paddock episode to really balance things out. So just as a heads up, that's probably kind of how I'll approach this, is from now on, I'll go paddock episode, non-paddock episode, so we can really build up the park the way that we need to. Now, you'll see right here, this is a really important part where I have to wrap my mind around how to get this to work right, because it's not exactly even, but anyways. So yeah, you're gonna see the rest of this time lapse. Like I said, I'm very proud of it. I think it turned out exactly how I wanted to, even beyond that. And so the rest of this episode today, we're gonna flesh out the rest of the things, and we are probably going to garden out the rest of the buildings like I had talked about doing. So guys, as always, if you enjoy any part of this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, be sure to sub to the channel, turn on those bell notifications, and then as I also mentioned in the last episode, if you want to be a part of the park, the best way to do that is to become a YouTube member. You can do that through any of the links in the description or in the comments. But for now, let's take a look at the Cretaceous signs and my wall and doing all those things. I hope you enjoy it. And welcome back to reality. Now, this is one of my favorite times of the day, just because all the lights are on, basically, and it kind of just shows the ambiance, however you want to say it, of the park itself. And one of the things that I love about Prehistoric Kingdom is that we technically don't even need these lights underneath, because it shows it off anyways. The waterfalls are like pre-lit, and I just find that a little bit humorous. But we do have some things that I added off the time lapse, and that includes this vegetation. I thought it would just be really cool to add some sort of growth over there. One of the things about the Cretaceous period, this is a little bit of education for you, but not an actual educational segment, is that the Cretaceous was a really warm period on Earth. I don't even know that there were polar ice caps. Everything was melted, which means coastlines were a lot bigger, hence the shallow sea from the last episode that I showed off to you guys. So one of the things that I think is going to be prominent throughout the Cretaceous is this idea of a hot, humid sort of style. So that's why we have our marshes over here, which won't be prominent in every single exhibit, but it will be there for most of them, I would imagine. I actually think the Protoceratops has a hotter, almost desert climate, so we're gonna have to figure out what to do with that. But regardless, you can see I started something here. We're gonna put another waterfall. I love the waterfalls. We're gonna use them a lot. And so the idea of like a jungle-esque swamplands is going to be very, it's gonna be out there a lot with the Cretaceous. Excuse me. But regardless, I do think it's a pretty cool entrance. And again, we're going to speed build the bridge going over into here. And we do have plenty of room for maybe another small exhibit right here. I don't know. But what I did over here, I purposefully left this space in between the main entrance, which will also round off, and the Cretaceous entrance, because I do want another era, epoch, whatever you want to call it, to be available for us here. I don't know what this will be. This might be, you know, the Ice Age, whatever it's called. I can't ever remember what that official name is called. But I do think it's going to be good. Now today, as I mentioned, we're going to be alternating between paddock episodes and beautification park progression episodes. So for this one today, I think we're just going to spend a little bit of time decking this out, because we're going to beautify this section, and then I'm going to go into another time lapse. I'm going to work on not doing so many time lapses, but there's just some intensive work that needs to be done here. This is, as I mentioned, we're going to make this place into almost like kind of a party balcony kind of deal, or at least some extra seating, things of that nature. Oh, but you guys did have some excellent ideas. One of them being that I should, let's knock that down to 15, that I should add solar panels to the tops of the buildings. And I thought that was fantastic. Can I make these panels smaller? I can. I wonder if that reduces... Hold on real quick. We're doing this for science. It generates 120. It does scale. No, it doesn't. Does it scale? Let's move away for a minute and then come right back. I think it's a little bit like, I don't think it knows what it needs to do. That's okay. But yes, you guys suggested that panels should go up on the tops of the buildings, and I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you so much. I know a couple of people actually suggested that. So let's go ahead and do that right there, and we can actually just flip right around, do that. I don't think it would make sense. Yeah, and I still have to worry about things not looking awkward. I guess it really wouldn't look awkward. Is it not going to show up underneath? If it's not going to show up underneath, then yeah, we'll definitely do that. It's not showing up underneath. Fantastic. Yeah, we're going to generate a lot of energy here. I don't want that right there. How do I? Advanced edit. There we go. So we're still going to keep to the same. There we go. Perfect. Well, no. Ugh. Oh my goodness, I had like the biggest sneeze of my life. Okay, let me place it, please. It's not letting me place it. That's a little bit wonky. So we'll just do this again. But yeah, if we can generate like all of our energy needs from the tops of buildings, I think that would be great. I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's an excellent use of space. So once again, oh, it's invalid. That's what it is. There we go. So once again, thank you for those suggestions. I do appreciate it. We can actually get rid of that right there, which is going to cause an issue here, but we can just do the same thing that we did over there and do it over here. We just got to drop it just below because I don't want that exposed. Ah, it's a little awkward. Let's go with advanced edit right there. Actually, let's do both of these together, squeeze them just like that. Now it's still showing that this doesn't have power, but I think it's going to continue to work very well. Now, one thing to mention is that power is still one of those things that isn't fully functioning in the game. So I imagine once they implement it, it'll work just dandly. But like I said, what we want to do here is we want to kind of beautify this area because it's a nice little walking path. It's not too shabby, but it is incomplete. So we need to do that. And let's see, we used scrubland, but I don't know that I want to use scrubland. We need some ferns or some palm seedlings, elephant ear. Let's see what that looks like. I actually think that works really well. Let's go ahead and change to a more daytime scenario. That way it's not so evening-ish, because that might put me to sleep. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I'm actually really okay with this. I do love this brush. By the way, I've had this in my brain for a few days now. Do you guys, are you okay? And I know this is like, why are you asking me this? But it does matter. Are you guys okay with the density in which I plant these? I don't really, from an actual planting gardening perspective, I don't know what's too much and what's not enough. There are days where because I watch these things just to make sure things are looking good. And there are days where I'm like, dude, this is like way too thick. I don't know that any park or anything would have such thick vegetation. But I'll leave that up to you guys. If you want me to kind of reduce it, I'll reduce it and we'll figure things out. But your opinion is valid and it does matter. So one of the things that I noticed, sorry, I'm going from point to point here. There's a really cool prefab. It's over here. Yeah, these. So look at this. That's not the one I'm talking about. This is the one I'm talking about. This is really, really cool. And whoever, whatever team at Blue Meridian designed these prefabs, they look just absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's a very, very simple-esque build, but it's still just really, really cool. I mean, it's got the semblance of a tiny little creek going. So we're going to try and build one of those real quick. Right here. But I do want to mention what we're going to have to worry about is... there we go. Oh, nope, nope. Is that my stairs, my goodness gracious. The stairs for this place, I think are going to be right up here. So I'm going to try to keep a little bit of space open here for those stairs. Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure, can I... You know what? I could probably... Even better is I could go over here. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's going to help a lot with figuring out how to approach all this stuff. Nice. Well, that solved a very simple question for me. But yeah, so let's get the rocks. Let's get a nice little base going. By the way, if you'll notice, every time I have this up, I learned this because I wasn't truly paying attention, but I used to scale things individually. I no longer do that because you hold left shift to change the height, which I've done forever, but holding left alt to change the size is fantastic, and then V to edit right off the bat. So I've quickened my pace just a little bit. Let's take a look at this. Prefab, where are you at? So again, we're not going to mimic it exactly, but I do just kind of want to figure out their layout. So we've got a really wide flat space. I believe is this dude. It looks like they've actually flattened them. I gotcha. That's smart. You know what? I think this guy actually has... May actually use him. This, not him. In the next piece. This is the guy that I'm looking at. Now, I'm not a huge fan of flattening because it is a little bit detrimental to the textures. I understand why they did it, and it still looks great, as I mentioned. Let's do it like this. I don't like that. And then we do need the gardening presets. That's scenery, no. Gardening, there we go. We got that just like that. You know what? We can totally do what we want. We can totally do what we want. Let's delete those. By the way, I hope you guys enjoy these things. I'm always so paranoid about what to cover, what's worth covering and what's not worth covering, because it does matter. I want the divot, substrate. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. I know what I'm doing now. I've got my ideas in my head. We're rocking it and we're rolling. Yes, that's perfect. You know what? We could add just a couple of small rocks. Just to create that pool effect. We probably don't even need that. Maybe just, sorry, maybe just a little bit of something. Right there. Yeah, no, that's too much. It's too much, Havoc. It's too much. Stop it. Okay, that's fine. And then we just need some stepping stones, quite literally. They don't have to be huge. But wow. That's cool. I like that piece, actually. Did we already... We use this frequently, don't we? Yeah, it's right there. It's right there in front of me. Oh, there we go. That's not too shabby. So yeah, it's like they've got just tiny little rivers coming out. Like, it just doesn't have to be anything too crazy. And then if we did this, right at the bottom. I'm getting the hang of these guys. Just a little bit. I do wish we could just like paint water almost. Although, let's see. We could actually, but we'd have to make sure this is exactly where we want it. Which, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Let's do it right there. And then what I'm gonna do is we have to be very, very delicate here. If we can pull this off. And then we're gonna paint some water. Didn't work. Didn't work. Let's go up a little bit higher. Flatten it a little more. Ah, it's just not gonna work. That's okay. I just thought I'd try it. Get that underneath. But you know what? We can always just put some vegetation there, which is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have another dino. I do hope they add more dinosaurs in the future because that would be really nice. I don't know that we need a clover bed. Seems a little too much. Oh, that's a gorgeous flower. There we go. I think that works. Another thing we need to work on is the fact that like all of our colors are the exact same. We're going to start adding some variety to it. We don't need black. Just adding some life to our plants and working it that way, or to our rocks rather. Now we don't have. Trying to see, here's the props. We don't need the props. I don't even think we need to worry about lighting so much. Now I do like the idea of those redwoods. Now that's, oh, well, that's what they've got. I'm not trying to copy them exactly. But I do just like the overall vibe that's going on here. We got 3 different types of redwoods. That's not, that doesn't fit whatsoever. And then, I mean, we do have props. I do like the idea of props. I do wish we had like some redwood props. Let's go. That's just a regular old boring log. We could just place a dead tree. I don't want to place a dead tree. There we go. And do we add a dino? Do we add a Mr. Edmontosaurus to the very top here? That's actually pretty cool. I'm really digging that. Yeah, I like it. Of course, I think bronze is kind of the best way to go. We're gonna go a little bit over here. Has to make sense. Realism is a decent part of this. All right, very cool. We're gonna name this. Well, this guy's gonna go now. Oh no, all of you guys are not part. Merge the groups together. Nice. Well, there we go. Very cool. And this is basically a live version of what goes through my brain every single time that I create something. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see here. We still need, that's a huge light. There we go. Get that there. And we'll drop in like another light right here. Cool. We don't need a lamp, none of that stuff. Merge the groups. That way if we were to move all this, yep, there we go. Very nice. And actually, it does fit in well over here. Let's get some more vegetation going. I think we're going to individually place some of these. There's a time and a place for the group ideas, and there's a time and a place for the... You know what? We're actually going to use the brush for this. We're going to use the brush. Trying to find where the pretty bushes are. We're going to go to the smallest size. And we're just going to lay this down. There's always a time for the big brush sweeps. There's always a time to individually place stuff. I imagine our stairs will be right here. There we go. Very nice. And then we are going to get into our other pretty one, the pickerel weed. Kind of create a nice little alley avenue. So like this place isn't necessarily super like publicized that this area is here. You got to kind of explore to to make the use out of your stay here, because it is costing you quite a lot of money to be here. But yeah, we are going to go into another little time lapse where I deck out everything here. I'm not sure if we connect this or not. We'll kind of have to see. Now, this is going to be a rather extensive timeline build, so you'll have to pardon me for the short actual speaking part. Now, but the idea here is, again, to create a lot of seating, a nice public space for some gardening things, and things of that nature, so that way people can experience a balcony view, which I think would be really, really good. So guys, I am actually not going to do an outro here. It's simply going to end once the timeline ends. So I do want to thank you all for hanging out with me in this episode. Let me know your thoughts about the timeline build, about all that stuff. My little prefab Edmontosaurus exhibit, which I do think looks rather good. And then of course, hanging out and watching this develop. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed any part, as always, engage the YouTube algorithm by giving it a like, commenting, subscribing on the channel. But also, you can become a member. And by becoming a member, you can have things named after you, exhibits named after you, even dinos named after you when the time comes. So it's a great way to support the channel, and I will start putting names at the end of the credits. So don't worry about that if that's your incentive or not. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is Havoc. See you in the next one.
Acting stupid, but being dumb. Maybe just a little bit foolish. I feel so young. flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning. So take me on a trip, 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 now trip, trip, trip. Oh, flick that switch, kill the lights. Oh, wasted. City lights are shining so bright. All these empty faces, we don't care about them tonight. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're the wheels that won't stop turning. I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but I feel so young. Just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only way we know how to do it. You make me feel so young. Oh, 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 oh. I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but I feel so young. Just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only way we know how to do it. Make me feel so young. I know we're acting stupid, maybe just a little bit foolish. Go a little crazy and lose it. It's the only way we know how to do it. Kill the lights.
These are nature's greatest creations. This is your park. This is Prehistoric Kingdom.